As the media tries to figure out what it got wrong, it's also been wrestling with what comes next, trying to figure out whether Trump's beef with the press will continue and whether to give his new administration the benefit of the doubt. For now, though, there's no consensus on what Trump will do next or how the journalists should proceed. Adam Riley has more.
Mr. President, it was a great honor being with you, and I look forward to being with you many, many more times.
And just like that, a chance for a reboot, even in the media. Start with the Huffington Post, which is dropping its editor's note describing Donald Trump as a liar, racist, and misogynist. HuffPo DC bureau chief Ryan Grimm tells Beat the Press they made the move
out of kind of a respect for the office of the presidency.
Also calling for a clean slate, Columbia Journalism Review, which says it's time for the press to seek out and understand people with whom they may have profound personal and philosophical differences. But the Washington Post's Margaret Sullivan has a different take.
I think we missed the overarching story.
Now she says it's time for journalists to gird for battle and take a fundamentally adversarial stance with the president-elect who's maligned them repeatedly. We have to fight back, Sullivan says of Trump. We need some heroes. If that sounds melodramatic, remember that Trump has vowed to change U.S. libel law.
And we're going to have people sue you like you never got sued before.
But New York Times editor Dean Baquet says Trump will realize that suing news organizations is not the most fruitful line to pursue when you're leader of the free world. Still, Trump could show his animus for the media in other ways, like defunding public broadcasting or curtailing access to the White House. Before Thursday's meeting with the president, Trump broke with convention by not letting the press join him en route. And given Trump's track record,
you can't believe the press.
Any post-election optimism may be in short supply.
I don't know, Dan. I'm going to put you on the spot here. You were the former White House correspondent for CNN. I personally do not see him changing at all. I can see him appearing at some of those briefings in the briefing room there and being the same way he is. I don't see how he can fundamentally change.
Although one of the officials has pointed out that, in fact, there will be a press pool, even though they weren't allowed in. And for people who don't know, I mean, anytime the president is out there traveling, no matter what it is, there's always a small group of reporters who follow him 24/7. I remember there was one time when the Obama administration early on decided that maybe they didn't have to have us with them at all times. And it was a soccer game that President Obama was going to, one of his daughters, and they gave us the slip. And they went without anyone. And we talked to Robert Gibbs about it, and they said, oh, we didn't think it was that big a deal. And now I think about that compared to potentially what could happen in this administration. I do believe that some of the traditions that we've seen as how the president covers, how the press covers the president at the White House or around the world, I do believe it will change. I mean, this has been part of his MO, going after the press. So why would he back away from it now?
I agree.
I'm a little bit concerned that we're already seeing among members of the press corps an over-concern about things that don't really matter, like access. I mean, the public doesn't really care. Sports writers will tell you that nobody cares when they whine about how hard it is for them to get access to what they're doing. There are much more important things going on. Thursday night, as protests were going on, Donald Trump took to Twitter and blamed the media for paying protesters and inciting protesters. I mean, it's just there's going to be a lot more to worry about than access in the days ahead. And although I agree that the press should not keep relitigating things that happened during the campaign, I think there's every sign in the world that there's going to be new things to cover all the time, and that's what they ought to be focused on.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I don't think anything's going to change from his actions. I hope there is a way, though, because I was just at a college, at Endicott College last night, explaining to the students that there is a pool camera when he's at those rallies, and when he says they don't cover it because they're biased, the camera cannot move.
Keep saying they don't turn around.
That it won't turn around and show the crowd. I understand, but people think that therefore we're lying, we're doing something. So I just hope that there is a way to point out that is not what is happening. His reality is not what's happening. I don't expect him to change at all. I think in fact, there was a back and forth with a reporter, if you remember, about 4 or 5 months ago, and the reporter said, is this how you're going to be in the White House if you win? And he said, yes, I am. So take him at his word.
Yeah, I got to love Margaret Sullivan's comment there about how now the press got to start fighting back and be adversarial. what were we doing before?
Yeah.
And that's actually a big problem.
Yeah.
Not so much in recent years as the love affair between some in the media and the Obama administration kind of ended. But early on, and during the campaign, it was lapdog central.
Totally.
So I think it's great if we go back to the classic model of the adversarial press. And you know what? You don't need access. It's a cliche in a TV newsroom that if the parking lot is full and the newsroom is full, you're asleep at the switch because the stories aren't in the newsroom and in the parking lot. You get out and get the story. Same goes for the White House press room. I want to see that place empty every day because President Trump may not want to have anything to do, and he may instruct Press Secretary Rudy Giuliani or whatever creep he gets to do it to crack down and stifle those creeps. But go over to Congress. Yeah. Go to where the inner circle people go drinking at night, and you know there'll be a lot of drinking going on. They're all going to be looking to dime the guy out left and right if he screws up, and you know he will.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, for you younger viewers, a dime was something that they used to put in a payphone?
It's not a bag of marijuana.
Well, I still think there is a reason for having that press room and for having these briefings because sometimes it's the only time of day or week that you get a chance to get a voice of the administration to answer. So yes, you do go outside the White House, you go to Capitol Hill, you go other places to form your story, to get some of the details that the White House won't give you, but then it gives you a chance to get them on the record.
If there is
and it's
one,
still important.
You cannot convince me there will be one under this administration.
You mean a briefing?
Yeah, that's right.
Or a White House press corps.
There you go.